Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toaster Bros, and today we're going to be doing a 2020 $800 gaming PC.
Prices are kind of crazy right now, but this PC build is actually still a pretty decent value for the money. But before we get into that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is a great all-in-one platform to help you build a beautiful online presence today. Be sure to check the link in the description down below to sign up today, and we'll talk more about Squarespace later on in the video. Now, let's go ahead and talk more about these PC parts, shall we?
So as some of you guys might know, PC parts are a little bit more expensive right now. So this build for $750, although it still does pack a really good punch per price, it's not the greatest compared to some of our older videos, but we did the best we could.
So this build is more up to date than some of the other ones that we've released, and you will have a better idea of, well, what you can actually obtain right now with the way inventory is with things going on in the world. So how about we go ahead and talk about what we got and how it's going to make up this build.
Okay guys, so as Matt said, this build, we did the best that we could with current up-to-date pricing with everything going on. This build's actually going to be used for doing some slight streaming, maybe a little bit of editing, and mainly gaming. So we went with the AMD Ryzen 5 3600, a really good 6-core 12-threaded processor, and honestly, they're obtainable right now. They're not stupid expensive, so we do highly recommend going with this one if you can find it. For the motherboard, we decided to go full size because this is going to be going into a mid-tower case, so we didn't want to go micro ATX. You could save about $20 to $30 though, because these are usually close to 100, but this is a Gigabyte B450 Gaming X B450 board. Like I said, it's honestly just one of the cheapest full-size AM4 boards you can get at the moment, so props to you, Gigabyte, for helping us out there. So for RAM, we actually decided to go with a G.Skill Trident Z RGB just because this is some of the cheaper RGB stuff you can get. It's under $100. You can find it for around $82 to $90 with the RGB and everything. So it's 3000 megahertz, it's 16 gigs, and RAM pricing's not the absolute greatest right now, so we went with what we could find easily. So for our main storage, we went with an ADATA 256 gig SSD. This is not an NVMe one, so it's not going to be like stupid lightning fast, but it's SSD speed, which is what is important. And yeah, it's so cute and small. So it is 256 gigs, which is a little bit smaller, but that's more than enough to get Windows, couple games, and even some of your streaming software. We also are going to be using this Western Digital Blue 1TB hard drive, but that is not included in the budget because it's not essential. This is what's essential. Don't get this instead, though. Get this, and maybe this if you have some extra money.
Now as for the GPU, this is where we kind of had to cut a little bit of corners here because of availability, but the 1660 Super is definitely no slouch. This is kind of like a 1070 that you can buy new right now for about $230, but it's a great card for 1080p high refresh rate in a majority of esports titles and some newer games, and also you could stretch into 1440p if you wanted to. 6 gigs of VRAM is more than enough to do that, but this is one of our favorite value cards out there. It's definitely a good one for a budget build in our price range that we're doing right now, so highly suggest you consider it. And this all black version from Gigabyte looks really nice. Now for the power supply, we went with this EVGA 500BQ. No, this is not the Thermaltake Smart Series power supply. This is something from EVGA, which they do make some pretty good high quality power supplies for the money. This one does come with black sleeve cables, I do believe. So it's a pretty good value out there, and it's 80 plus bronze, so you can't go wrong with it. And lastly, the case. We have the FSP CMT 340. Now this is the last of the This is the last of the FSP cases we have in-house that we did for an ad spot deal with them, and we wanted to use this one because, well, at under $100, you're getting 3 RGB fans with built-in control for the RGB, which is really awesome, and it comes in at a pretty nice price point, so tempered glass also. Really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and put the system together, see how she looks. I'm feeling pretty confident it's gonna look really nice, and then see how she performs as Jackson leans into the tripod.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have this $800 gaming PC all put together, let's talk about those benchmarks real quick. Now, we decided to test a couple of games with this PC, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, more specifically Warzone actually this time, Fortnite, and Rainbow Six Siege, along with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now, first up with Warzone, we did notice that the frame rate was significantly lower in Warzone compared to the normal Call of Duty game, which you all have been letting us know in the comment section down below, so for the foreseeable future, we'll most likely just benchmark in Warzone, even though I'll probably die pretty quickly in this game. Hopefully I'll get better at it. But getting well over 80 plus FPS on medium/high settings is actually pretty impressive for this PC. I know the game is not super optimized, so getting around 80 FPS average with a few stutters here and there is more than playable in my opinion, and it'll give you really good results in the long run. One thing I do have to mention about this build is the RAM. Now, we had some issues with the RAM in this build not locking in at 3000 megahertz. Now, we don't know whether it's just older RAM that doesn't have good support for AMD Ryzen or if it's something else, but the RAM was only able to lock in at 2666 megahertz, which, for those who know Ryzen, really benefits from having faster memory. So please, if you do build this PC, use the link in the description down below and go with the RAM that we provided. You will most likely get more performance than this PC does right now. And the same goes with other games that we tested. Fortnite was more than playable, but definitely a little bit lower than it should be because of the RAM only running at 2666 megahertz. So again, do keep that in mind. Go with different RAM, you'll most likely get better results in the long run. But overall, I was very impressed with this PC. Running games like Rainbow Six Siege with the built-in benchmark shows that this thing is great for esports titles, getting well over 100 plus FPS, and also Shadow of the Tomb Raider on high settings show this thing can stretch its legs and play AAA titles. The 1660 Super is definitely no slouch. In this situation, we'd have liked to gone with something like a 2060, but due to availability right now and everything going on in the world, the 1660 Super is about the best you can do right now for a $800 gaming PC featuring the Ryzen 5 3600, but again, that doesn't mean it's a bad card. It's still a pretty awesome value for the money. So overall, pretty impressed with this PC. I highly suggest you consider it if you are on an $800 budget, and if you are interested, use the links in the description down below. They are affiliate links, and they do help us out. So how about I go ahead and bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick. Are you looking to get into content creation and want to know a great way to grow your online presence? Well, today's video sponsor, Squarespace, has you covered. You should know by now that Squarespace is the best place to build a website for whatever you are doing online, but a lot of people overlook the value of building a website when trying to grow a, let's say, YouTube channel. No matter your skill level, creating a website on Squarespace is dead up simple. I'm not just talking about building the website. Being able to set up powerful SEO to improve your brand searchability is super simple as well, and is one of the #1 keys to getting your name out there. I took some time to work on our website on Squarespace, and I love how fast I was able to put something together using their built-in templates, giving the Toasty Bros brand a modern look. Now don't wait, head on over to squarespace.com/toastybros to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain using code ToastyBros at checkout. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Now let's finish it up, shall we?
Alright guys, so we just got finished with benchmarking, and as you could tell, the PC played really good. Every game that we threw at it, it played pretty well. Obviously, this is all new parts, and with current pricing and having things really hard to get right now, we had to make do with what we could get. So, you know, with what we got, I think it was pretty good.
Normally around this price point, you might be able to get a slightly better GPU, but the 1660 Super is still a great card. You're going to be able to play pretty much anything you want, 1080p, high refresh rate, or 1440p, and we really like this FSP case for the money. At under $100 for all these RGB fans with built-in control, which is freaking awesome. Always like having built-in control with any RGB case that we have. I think it's a pretty good value. So if you are interested in buying any of this stuff for this PC build, links in the description down below. They are affiliate links and they do help us out. So if you love us, use those links down below.
Also, if you guys don't know, we actually stream over on twitch.tv/ToastyBros. We also have 2 other YouTube channels that we're working on. We'd really love if you dropped a sub, dropped a follow, or even a sub on Twitch as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. All these modes, look at them. Ooh. They're so beautiful. Ooh.
I don't like this one.
I don't either.